Mario Kart World is shaping up to be the biggest entry the franchise has ever seen, offering an open world experience unlike anything we've had prior in the franchise. The limitless world of Mario Kart has never been more apparent than ever. With new entries bring new courses, but also opportunities to reimagine old retro courses and bring them to new life. Up to this point in time, the Mario Kart franchise has a whopping total of 176 tracks in its repertoire, and I've put myself up to the challenge to rank all of them. I think I'm in for it this time. Trust me, this took way longer than you think it did. This video is going to be quite lengthy, we've got a lot to go through, so let's hurry and rush over to the rules and criteria and then we can get started. Each track went through a score system, and every track on this list I had played myself to give it the fairest ranking. The criteria for today's video are: layout. How well crafted I think the track layout is outside of any visual aspects. Design. The visual aspects of all the tracks. This includes themes, how expressive the tracks are, and whether I believe the design was best utilized in the track. Enjoyment. This is where the scores become subjective, but ultimately I've got to rank how much fun the tracks were. And finally, the music. A small booster score that just mentions how much I like the music for the track in question. The score will only be out of 5 compared to the rest of the criteria, which will all receive a score out of 10. Some other things to keep in mind while we're going through this ranking. The original tracks will be the ones receiving the scores. So for example, GBA Mario Circuit will be using its original iteration on the Game Boy Advance and not its remake in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Track placement in their respective cups will affect my scores. So for example, a simple track may rank higher if it is the first track in the game, however, this isn't guaranteed. Any tracks that share the same music will receive the same music score, regardless of whether it suits one better than the other. For example, Waluigi Pinball versus Wario Stadium for the Nintendo DS. I have, however, allowed for the music to be judged based on their most modern iteration available, but based on the research, there were very rare circumstances where this actually affected the rankings. As for gameplay, we will not be including 200cc in the decision. This ranking will only include 150cc gameplay. All Mario Kart Tour tracks will use their rendition from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's Booster Course Pass for judgment, with the exception of Piranha Plant Pipeline and the RMX tracks, as neither were featured outside of Tour. I won't be including the arcade games in this ranking either. This is purely because I have no easy way to access these tracks, and my experience with them is quite thin. With ranking criteria quite as limited as we have today, there was bound to be some tracks that received the same score. I combated this by putting them through a peer ranking service online and picked the tracks based on preference to get the final order. And lastly, remember, this is completely subjective. This is my thoughts on Mario Kart as a whole, and none of it should be taken literally. There may be tracks that rank higher or lower than anyone else would put watching this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, but don't come at me if I rank a track in a spot that you don't agree with. Alright. I think that's enough stalling. Everyone, welcome to the ultimate Mario Kart course ranking. Talk about a marathon, but we made it to the end. Did you agree with my rankings? Did you disagree? Were there things that you would change personally? This was a monumental task, and trying to sort all of these tracks with unique styles and creativity was one of the most difficult things I've ever done on this channel. I want to preface that there aren't a lot of tracks on this list I actually dislike, and some of the tracks I do dislike ranked a lot higher than if I were to just make it a subjective list based on enjoyment. Mario Kart World is just around the corner, and this game is going to change how we perceive racing tracks for the foreseeable future, and I'm looking forward to what's next in the franchise. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment how dirty I did your favourite track, and subscribe. Thank you very much, and we'll see you when Mario Kart World launches on June 5th.